All sports, all plays, ball courts, pump fakes, crossovers, it's a motion. All sports, all plays, ballparks, home base, miss that speed by, that's 3 strikes. We know what's happening in the league. All sports, all plays, ASAP. Cause we know what's going down with your team. We'll bring you up to speed ASAP. Not talking about Rihanna's baby daddy, it's the network covering every play that's happening in the ring, on the field, on the courts, on the lane. We gon' cover the game, all sports, all play. All sports, all plays, ball courts, pump fakes, crossovers, it's a motion. All sports, all plays, ballparks, home base, miss that speed by, that's 3 strikes.
What is going on, everyone? We have a special episode number 7. Right here on Siege.
I'm feeling pretty good. This is only the second time I've ever done it. This is the first time I've ever actually been. Listen to the energy, the vibe, the system.
Right. We got the cave in the background. You can hear probably in the background as well. People putting in that work, preparing for fights. That's what this show is about. Talking to you guys, get prepared for your next endeavor. Trying to outline that story.
I don't think it's always huge. We've seen a lot of fighting. In this world, I want to ask more people so we got to get there.
Yes, we do. And before I get to that, let's see people why I'm playing on this play. We got something special. We're working on a spin-off series. It's going to be more like a documentary series. So we were actually doing some footage this week and the last week as well, leading up to a special summer program. Today, we have a special PFA alumni, like you said. This guy came up to the PFA from the beginning. Really enjoy watching this.
Honestly, too, I gotta say, he's definitely a fan favorite. I still remember the last interview with him, get the squabble. That's history of our PFA now. That's part of the legacy.
Well, without further ado, let me go ahead and introduce Jesse.
What's going on, brother? What's going on? How you feeling, man?
I'm doing pretty good today, honestly. A little tired, but I'm good.
Oh, yeah. You just did some training earlier today, right?
Yeah, we were fighting squad. Yeah, punch a lot.
Oh, I bet. I gotta say, from the moment I met you, I've been waiting for it. I got to meet you back when I was PFA, with the debut in Canada. We got the pre-fight interview, the post-fight in, then it's like got around this and had me, dominant performance. This is the third time I've seen you get come through. You're already a living legend. So how do you feel about that?
I mean, I love being on a living legend. I just want to be known to be all those 3 fights happened within the 2-month span. It would have been a 4th fight had last point not get hurt. By the way, I hope it's not a serious injury. If there ever time comes around again, let's fight. But I'll take some more minutes, honestly. But that would have been my 4th fight in 2 months, which I think is pretty wild. I would rather make it 6 in a row, 7 in a row, 8 in a row. I just want to fight. I just love the environment. I love the mental chess match. I like knowing that I can be smarter than you. Or maybe you're smarter than me. Who knows? That's what I'm in it for. I'm just in it for the mental growth.
I personally take it on. I always talk about the character, the man behind the man, the face, and you bring that into your fights as well, like the post-fights that you were doing, the squad dancing, I feel like you bring that energy too. And that goes a long way to why the fans respond the way they do. dope to see. Where does all that energy come from? Where's that passion driven from?
Honestly, that passion just kind of comes from just the love for the sport, just in general. Like not even just like kickboxing, Muay Thai, MMA, whatever it is. Just the love for this fighting in general. Like just that sense of okay, how could you do? Like I said, it goes back to like that mental chess match. Like that's how I look at fighting. Okay, what's your first move? Are you moving your pine? Are you moving a bishop? How are you going to come at me first? That way I could download, see what you want to do, and then attack you a different way. Like it's an ongoing battle, to be honest.
Yeah,
That's where it comes from. Just like my love for fighting.
yeah, and it's
No one can hear us.
Yeah.
a little bit of a hiccup.
Wait, we got audio
Okay, we back in. Check it on your side. You can pull it up on there and double check. All right. Can you guys hear us now? Can you guys hear us now?
now. Okay, perfect.
Perfect. All right. So we'll run a little bit back because I think we got a little bit of meaty there, and we didn't get into it. But I was just talking a little bit about the passion that you bring to the table when you step in the ring, your post-fight interviews, pre-fight interviews, and asking a little bit about where that came from. So can you just enlighten the ones that didn't get to hear the first time around?
Yeah, no. So for everyone who didn't get to hear about this, um, my passion just kind of comes from just the love for the sport, man. The love for fighting in general. Like I said, it just doesn't have to be just Muay Thai, kickboxing, MMA, even jiu-jitsu. Like I love all aspects of the mental game. Like it's a chess match to me. That's how I see it. That's what I love. I love knowing the fact that okay, how can I outsmart you? Because at the end of the day, it's about who is smarter, who is more physical, who can get their job done. And if you can't get that done, you don't win. That's what I love about it. Knowing okay, who could outsmart who, and I love that thrill.
Yeah, yeah, and I mean, you guys spend so much time in the gym, and that passion to keep that drummed up. How much do you depend on the guys that you have in your corner? Because from what I've experienced so far with you guys are a close knit crew, really close knit crew, hang together, fight together, so on and so forth. So does that push and help, keep that passion, that burn alive in you?
Yeah, so the fact that I have a great group of guys who are around me, they're my family. Like they're my home away from home. This is my home away from home, to be honest. Like if I'm not at home, I'm not at work, I'm here. This is where I'm at 24/7 if I'm not anywhere else. And my boys, they're always with me. Like we are such a close new grit. Like we always hang out together outside of here. If we're not training, we're having like a bite to eat, or we're going to like the Renaissance festival this weekend. We're always doing something active. We're always around each other. And if you're not around, best one we're going to text you. If you're hurt, we're going to be like, hey, how you doing? We take care of ourselves. We're a team. We're a family, and that helps me so much. Because if I didn't have that brotherhood, I probably wouldn't be here, to be honest.
Mhm. Yeah, yeah. And one thing that I really admire about this sport, especially what I see with you guys, is that brotherhood. Because, while yes, it's an individual sport in regards that it's mano a mano inside the ring, inside the cage, but part of your story in this sport is legacy. Legacy comes with the relationships you build, the what you build in memories with those teammates. So it's great the fact that, especially so early on in the foundation, we get to see you from your startup to how you progress, as well as the relationship you have with these guys and as you progress. And, especially too, like I said before, your boxing crisp. I've seen you since your debut every single fight, and I'm excited to see every single one of them moving forward. And you also just switched, and now you're starting training a little bit over at jail boxing. Is that right?
Yeah. Yeah. So after that last loss, I kind of saw things I could improve on, and even though I truly didn't feel like I lost that fight, but hey, all Luke, amazing fighter, love you, brother, such a great guy, but it just kind of woke up something in me. I'm like, okay, just hearing the fact that you lost, I'm no longer undefeated. That woke up a fire in me that normally people are gonna be like, all right, maybe I should just quit here. I'm not good enough. Excuse my language. Fuck that. It literally lit a fire in me. I'm like, nah, okay, there's stuff I have to work on then. If I'm not good at this, okay, what could I improve on? So I literally broke down that fight. I broke down every fight I've been in, watched over the table. Okay, how can I improve? I'm a good boxer. I could be better though. I'm a good Muay Thai person. I could get better though. The mindset was okay. Okay, yeah, I'm this good.
but now I'm no longer undefeated. So why is that? How can I get better? How can I improve from my last fight? And that's what JL brings to me. It gave me sharper mindset, different angles. It made a switch.
So you brushed on it just small right there. So that last fight, um, there's it's no secret that a lot of people, both your fans and spectators, said that fight, they didn't like the decision.
Yeah.
And nothing taking anything from him. He fought a great fight. He fought a great fight. And we always talk about leaving it in the hands of the judges. Can go any way any given night.
Yeah.
So now that you have broken down your wins, and then that really, really close fight, what out of that fight did you see that may have tipped the judges the other way? What holes did you see that you left out there, if any?
Um, Honestly, there was a lot of things I did poorly in that round. I even did it in the biggest thing that kind of saw was that third round. I tend to rest, especially if I felt up 2-0. Like the first two rounds, I thought I had it in the book. I'm like, okay, no way he took this from me. I'm up 2-0. Why am I gonna go on the third round? Risk him. Like he was landing some strong kicks at the end of that third round. One of them almost put me down. I'm not gonna lie. One of the last kicks got through. I was like, okay, I'm not going down. I'm not losing this fight because of this kick. But that's the risk with it. If you go out there and bang, people want to see you bang, and like, sorry, I didn't do that, guys. I'm not trying to risk that off of just making dumb mistakes. But I also did that versus Vincent. I was up 2-0, and what did I do the last round? I relaxed a little bit. Yeah, I was still striking, but I was more focused on defense and just like, nah, get me the hell out of here. That's one thing I need to stop. So coming this next fight, whenever it does happen, I'm not going to quit this time. I'm going to like, all right, we're going all 3 rounds. I'm going to slug it with you and hope that I have the chin that I know I have. Another thing is I know I could be more active. Like I'm very defensive at all my fights. I like to counter pressure. I like to be in your face, but I'm not throwing. I like to see where you're going to throw. I like to wait for the opportunity, then I strike. I'm gonna ramp that up. You're gonna see a lot more productivity from me now. I'm gonna throw a lot more. I'm gonna have that jab in your face, feign a little more to kicks. I'm gonna make you think instead of just then you see one option. So it kind of just woke me up from a lot of those different flaws.
Okay. Now, I'm not going to lie. From my perspective, commentating senior fights, you're already hella active as it is. So the fact that you're like, okay, now I'm really going to put the pedal on the metal, that only makes me more excited because, yes, you're counter striker, you're counter pressure, but you're very inquisitive in your ability to switch up your shots to keep them guessing. And, the one thing I love about the sport as well is that when you face a loss, it's a reflection of how you can handle it. Because oftentimes you see so many fighters where they go an endless winning streak. As soon as the one loss happened, it breaks them down from there. Like Tony Ferguson. He hasn't, what was it? His last win was before Justin Gaethje. And since that loss, it's been a slate from there. So the fact that so early on in your career, your mindset is to adapt, to learn, see what you can improve, and use that as a stepping stone to excel your career. And so with that being said as well, it's like, what are we going to expect of you out of 2024?
So 2024, I just want to be as active as I can, to be honest. Like I said a little earlier, and they probably didn't hear it because audio issues. But if it wasn't for the last pony getting hurt, I would have had 4 fights in 2 months, which is extremely active for any fighter.
Right.
And I would gladly go 6, 7, 8, 9. I'll go a whole year fighting every single month if they let me. I just want to be active and fight. So that's kind of the goal for this year. So whether it be dipping my hand in the boxing, which I do plan to do this year, or also going MMA, which I also plan doing this year as well. You just want to see me on different promotions, and if there's a fight offered to me, best of me, I'm gonna take it, regardless of what it is.
Now, before we got on, you said something about you was on a mission. What mission exactly are we on right now?
Bro, I want a belt. I'm on a mission for a belt. To be honest, I just want to, like I said, I just want to fight, but I want the glory that comes with it. I want that precision, knowing that okay, I am up there with the top level strikers. I know I can be here with you guys. I can hang with you guys. I want to know the fact that if I have a belt, I'm going to defend it every single part. Like I said, I want to be active. There's some people who are going to see champions. They won't come back the next fight, the next 2 fights. They kind of want to rest because they had a hard fight. nah, I don't care if I'm even hurt. I'm gonna still fight every month. Like I want to be a very active champ if I ever do get the honor to be there.
Mhm.
That's the mission, just to be a champ or just to fight every single month, or even if I can every couple weeks. I like Thailand style. Like let me fight.
Yeah, and honestly too, because I remember that last fight against Colton Luke, you accepted it on just 2 weeks' notice. You did that weight cut just on 2 weeks' notice. And what I especially admire about what you're saying right there, and it's something that I've been preaching about for well over a year now, is consistency with amateurs defending their belt. Because think about it, when you're pro, you're not just going to go in there and go for one title shot. That's it. No, your goal is to defend as much as possible. And there's a whole different dynamic to a title defense versus you're building up to get the title shot or the actual title shot. So you getting that experience now is going to do leaps and bounds. And so for this year, how many belts do you see yourself getting?
Honestly, I don't know how much belts I'll get, but I do know when I am able to get a belt, like I said, I want to defend as much as I can because with the belt comes everyone knowing who you are, but not just knowing who you are. They know your game plan, they know your loopholes, they know they're gonna study your fights like the back of their hand, like they're gonna know you in and out. What that means, harder fights, tougher opponents, and that's the really what I want. I want tougher opponents. That's why I want the belt more than anything else. Because if I have the belt, that means all the best fighters coming after one person. That's me. I just want good fights. I want to learn how am I going to be able to be good if I keep fighting people who are under my stature, if they're not the same mind level as me fighting wise. I need to fight people who are on the same length or even better than me. I'm not afraid of a challenge. I don't care if you have more wins than me, if you have more fights, because I want that from you. How am I going to get better if I can't fight you?
Right.
That's what I crave the most.
And that goes a long way too, because we always talk about, especially now, man. I feel like when we look at older fighters and stuff, and you've seen a bigger record.
Yeah.
The record, might be 25 wins
Yep.
and 6, 7 losses in the MMA round, and then in boxing, you might have seen 80 wins or
Yep.
you know what I'm saying, and 30 losses, 20 losses. So, and I think nowadays it like you were kind of hitting to earlier is one loss like rattles people now. And one loss can derail your whole career for some people. And I think a lot of that goes to people not taking those fights and taking those chances in their amateur career. And like you said, like, okay, I can Jake Paul.
Yeah.
I can Jake Paul it and stat stuff, and you know what I mean, like pad, like win. And then you look at the names and it's, who did you fight? Who are these guys? How much much, did they actually take from what you were trying to learn in camp and push you to the end of that?
Exactly.
And that's a big, it goes a long way. With that being said, all right.
Sorry about that. Let's get it a second to catch back up. Okay. Let's see. Am I back? Yes. All right. But yeah, man. We keep grinding, like we were talking about. um, but I mean, with that being said, are there anyone? Is there anyone in the division that you've seen that you think would be a good fight for you?
Honestly, I don't really know much of who's in my division because it's such a wide number, and I fight between literally 155ers, and I go back down to like the 145ers. So I'm always in between both these people. I just, cause like I said, I just want to fight everyone. I just want a good fight. Um, I don't really know any names. Give me anyone who will give me threat, who will give me problems, who will teach me lessons. I don't care who you are. Just put up a fight versus me and let me see if I'm really as good as I think I am. And if I'm not, it gives me a chance to look back and improve. That's all. That's all I want.
Mhm. Yeah, absolutely. And before I ask my next question, I'm going to give a shout out to everybody in the Instagram chat. Shout out to Mason Ramirez. We saw you join. Jeshua's mom, she joined in. She's been leaving some comments. You've been had Jose Ramirez. You got a whole bunch of people spamming the feed. So we see you all. We appreciate you all. And that leads me to my next question. Your fans want to know. We want to know. PFA wants to know. Next time we see you here at PFA and you get that W, do we see you contending for that title shot on that next fight?
It depends on how good a performance I put because you're not just going to put anyone in a title shot. You need to have the right people, the right experience. You have to have everything has to be perfect for a title shot because you can't just say, oh, here, and just put two people randomly. Okay, now that's your champ. You want to put it in the hands of someone who you know has potential. So if I'm that person, I guarantee you I'm going to be calling for that shot. But it's not up to me. It's up to, like you said, the fans, up to organization, up to everyone else. I'm not that kind of person to be like, yeah, no, give me that. Even though I want to be that person, I'm humble enough to know that, okay, maybe if I'm not there, I'm not there yet, unless I think it.
Yeah. So I do kind of want to go back a little bit because we kind of let this one just run. But at what age did you really start getting into this? When did you really click for you? Like, when did it say, man, I want to spend all my time right here? You know what I mean? Like, it changes. You're out playing ball, you're out doing this. Like, when did that click for you?
I I think everything started clicking probably about like I started training literally when COVID first hit, so the gym shut down for a couple months, so I didn't like kind of got away from it a little bit and everything. It wasn't until he used to coach here. His name's Kurt Tennell. I'm pretty sure if anyone's not familiar with him, look up his last fight on Rise. That man's a monster. Shout out to you, Kurt. Love you. Um, it wasn't until he kind of brought me back. He's like, "Hey, you have too much potential to waste this. Like, what are you doing, man?" And then I'm like, "Okay." So I started coming in slowly. Didn't enjoy it. I'm like, "Oh, I'm just getting beat up. I'm not getting any better. This kind of sucks." And then it wasn't until like a year after that when returning. So I was about like what 2021, 2020, a little bit almost 2022. I'm like, okay, I'm actually getting pretty good here. Things are starting to click. I'm starting to get combos. I'm starting to check kicks. I'm starting to actually know how to block and defend. Everything is just going good. So it wasn't until around like a year or two in that I'm like, all right, I got something here. And that's when everything clicked.
And it's crazy too that you say that because I've, interviewing people over the time. It's like, man, it seems like everybody goes through that period where they feel like, man, I'm just getting my ass whooped. It's that learning curve where you think you're somebody, and then you get in here, and how hard is that mentally to go through that where you just feel like, man, I'm coming in here every day, I'm getting my ass whooped, and you obviously you're getting better, but it's small increments, so you're not seeing it right then and there. Like, how difficult is that to work through?
Bro, that is literally the hardest part of wanting to be a fighter and wanting to learn is like just know that anyone who else wants to join, if you're small, young, old, doesn't matter the age, you're never told to fight. Even like senior citizen leagues, I don't know, might be out there. Maybe like in Russia or something. I have no idea. Um, when you first start, I'm gonna tell you right now, it's tough. It is so freaking tough to first start. And I shout out anyone who's a rookie who just gets in the game at whatever age it may be. Just know that you're gonna go through a lot of aches. You're going through a lot of pain. You're gonna go through a lot of frustration. I mean, frustration, especially for me. I have an ego. Um, and just know that if you stick to it, not only will you get in shape, but your mentality starts to change. You start to get a certain discipline, and you just get healthy overall. And it's such a benefit. I recommend it for anyone, not even just who wants to fight, just in general, just who wants to have something to say that they've done it, they experienced it, they got to learn it. It's such a rewarding sport in general. Like, I don't know how to describe that feeling. Like, besides fighting, otherwise, just it's a reward in its own, and such a mental freedom that you get from this sport. I can't thank it enough for everything.
hmm Honestly, you hit the nail in the coffin with that, because I remember back at PFA 6, something I was telling Joe and Stanley from Siege, I think I was telling you, the rest of the guys from Siege, as well as James, is that the entire energy dynamic on that last one that you fought on, it wasn't so much that they're there to fight. It was more like, we're here to live, in a sense, just like that. It's better to challenge yourself, to put yourself through hell and arrive on paradise on the other side, than to always stand behind the fence wondering, what if? What if I did this? What if I did that? This, and that. And that's why I preach for especially kids to get into sports, get into combat sports, because it teaches you a whole nother level of discipline, of integrity, of brotherhood, of appreciation and humbleness as well, for just not just your peers, but for everything in everyday life.
Uh, I agree too. I mean, the the cool part about it is like you see a lot of, like, we talk about it a lot. There's kids out there that don't have a lot. There's so many different areas where, depending on who you're dealing with, and the camaraderie, the friendship, the brotherhood that sports build in general, but also in this gym, and you're also teaching someone how to defend themselves and giving them that confidence to know that if something was to come that way, they have the means to defend themselves as well. Um, you know, we always talk about kids. Actually, before I even go there, I wanted to bring up this last PFA.
Okay.
You did not fight. However, you were on commentary.
Yep.
And so you took a step out of the ring, and you put on the headset, had the mic. How was that? Looking at it from a different angle, where you're usually the guy that's listening to the commentary talk about you or describe what's going on in your fight. How was that to step away and put on a different hat?
I gotta say, I really enjoy commentary. Like, it was a different point of view for me. 100% it was. Like, I got to just step back, as you said, look at a different angle, and just be like, damn, that's what I do. That's pretty dope. But just also this the challenge of like having to just like live analyze something. Like, I do it all the time in wrestling when I'm watching fights. If you ever see me at home or ever see me fights, I talk over the fight sometimes, and it gets annoying. I'm not gonna lie, because I'm just like saying what's on my mind. I'm like, damn, that's a nice jab, or like, you should be doing this, or this is about to happen. Watch, and then it happens. I'm like, told you. So getting to do that like on live commentary, and then also shout out to Dylan. He's not here, but I love you, Dylan. Having that camaraderie and just like back and forth with him and banter, that was fun. Like, it was like a different part of a brotherhood that I got to build with Dylan at the moment, and you guys over at the team. Like, thank you for letting me. By the way, I really appreciate that. It was it allowed me to see a whole new aspect of the fighting game that I never really thought I would ever get to see and actually be a part of.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and what I was telling James about that earlier, or I think yesterday actually, is that I think it's a really cool dynamic with what we have going on now. Not just in a sense of you never seen so much exposure interactions at the amateur level as it is right now, but also too, like oftentimes this community, we preach more for fighters themselves to get more interactive with the media, with commentary, with reffing, with judging as well, because since you're a fighter, you understand more realistically how it is inside the cage, how it is inside the ring, and how things should be corrected in situations. So I think it's very good, especially for you early on, to where you can start developing that rapport behind the scenes and start developing that. So that way you create so many more avenues of success for yourself, and especially to building your resume, building your media personality. And so, like for you especially, how do you feel that the opportunity right now in Arizona being a hot spot presents for you?
Oh, real quick before I kind of dive into that, can we show some Arizona some love, guys? Like, if you're on the stream, put AZ in the chat, something like that. Like, Arizona has blown up so much in a couple years. Like, you see people in Arizona, like Sean O'Malley, Arizona champ. You had Henry Cejudo for a while, champ. You have all these AZ fighters that are coming up, man. I was like, damn, okay, it's not just Vegas, not just Cali, it's not New York, it's not just Boston, it's not the East Side. Like, no, we're holding it down right now. Arizona has a lot of good potential fighters, not just in boxing as well. Like, that's the reason why there's a lot of box fights, a lot of MMA fights started to come to AZ, because why? We have what they need now. We have the right category of people who love to watch fights, who want to be in fights, who love the sport, and just I'm in the right time at the right period at the right fighting age. Like, everything is so aligned with what I want to do in my life, and it's all thanks to Arizona. So real quick before I dive in that, again, I love you, Arizona. Never change. But just with everything being a hotspot, it helps me out because you have so much gyms around here that want to fight each other, and like you have some like rival, whatever it is, all that bull crap. I don't know why they fight each other. I don't get it. Let's just do it in the ring. That's the only reason why we should
Right.
fight. But I love it because you have such a competitive edge at the same time as well. Because they want to like, no, my gym's better than you. Just look at our record. We beat you all the time. Like, to have that over them is like, it's actually kind of nice. You have a competitiveness versus all the gyms. Like, yeah, no, we have the better fighters. No, we have the better fighters. Nah, you guys are stupid. It's like back and forth banter. Like, it makes you want to fight harder, and it makes you want to train harder because you want that prestige over the other gyms. Like, okay, you're known for being a top gym in Arizona. Oh no, not anymore. We took over. That's what I love about the sport.
You know, it is dope too because we always talk about how much Arizona's grown, and this is everything that you just said is a full testament to how it's grown. It, boxing, MMA, Muay Thai is going nuts.
Oh yeah.
You know, the wrestling events, grappling events. It's going insane out here, and it's dope because it's been like a storm. It's been a rush over the last like 2 years or so, 2.5, 3 years. And you know, you mentioned Sean O'Malley. You got Marcus. You got the lab, man. The bantamweight division in the lab. Kyler Phillips, Marcus. I'm missing my other guy, Drakkar Klaus, but I'm missing my other guy, man. Mario.
We also
Yeah,
got Jared Cannonier. He's not in that class, but he's also at the lab.
but yeah, Jared. I mean, there's so much talent out here, man. And you know, like you said, you're in a perfect time. A lot of eyes are in Arizona. It's opened a lot of doors, and you know, those guys are kind of helping pave that way. For all the kids watching, Jeshua, you know us. We love kids. What would you say to them out there if they're thinking about wanting to step foot in here? Maybe they're getting bullied at school. There's another way out. Like, what would you say to the kids that are watching right now?
To all the kids out there, I'm gonna get a little personal real quick. If you feel like life is hard, you're getting bullied at school, or just like you just feel alone. I used to be in the shoes. I was a kid who grew up being bullied because I had, like I said, I had an ego. I had a mouth on me. And a lot of times I did not know how to back up because I could not fight for crap. So I would get bullied a lot. And a lot of times my brother had one of my battles for me behind the scenes. I didn't even know that till I got older. But I wish I had this growing up so I could not only just learn how to self-defense, but just you build a certain friendship in the gym. So just for all the kids who don't know what they want to do in life or just feel like they have nothing to lose or they want to go a different route, they want to start experimenting with drugs or anything of that different avenue because it is present in your life and it's very heavy, especially when you get to high school. So I would recommend heavily, don't go that route. It's not a great route. Trust me. It only seeps the bad ways. I do not recommend it for any kid. Get in the gym, build friendships, and these are lifelong friendships. I'm telling you, all the friends I have at this gym, all the people I know are thanks to this gym, and they've been friends with me for over 5+ years now, and we are close as ever. That's the kind of friendships you get from gyms because you guys get to sweat together, you get to laugh together, you get to go through pain together, you have to get that embarrassment together. You guys do everything together. It builds lifelong friendships. And not only that, you get to learn how to defend yourself, fight for yourself, and you find some sense of freedom and you get to find out who you are as a person in a gym because it really shows your character. So I implore you to not do anything else, but just not even be at this kind of martial arts gym, any gym. If you like basketball, go to basketball gym. If you like gymnastics, go to gymnastics. Like pick up some kind of hobby that takes you away from the bad areas and lets you focus on the good and yourself and just self-care and self-love. I implore you to do that, kids. Please, please, please.
Yeah, honestly, I love that response, and it really preaches to a lot what we push because, me being a philosophical person, a thing that I love saying is that if you feel you have the capacity for greatness, then it's your obligation to do so. And it's through that obligation that you'll find reverence in the lives that you'll change in the process. And, it's like you saying, there's so much opportunity right now in Arizona too for kids to be able to escape the gangs, escape the violence, the domestic violence and abuse, drug addiction, alcohol addiction. So I really implore people to follow by example, to lead by example, and especially too, especially your motto, how you carry yourself, your attitude, and exactly your philosophy you're just explaining here. I implore kids to look up to that because I would rather, especially in this day and age, have them look up to people who have that ambition, that drive, and that love too.
I agree 100%, man. We are running out of time. We might get the lights turned off on us here soon. So before we go out of here, or before we get out of here, I should say, we usually ask 2 questions. I'll let him ask his as well. But mine, your go-to meal right after weigh-ins, right after a weight cut.
To be honest, this last one it was wings from oregano's, which were undercooked. So I kind of had a stomach bugs. But normally, what I've done the past 2 fights before I changed it up for that last fight, I eat the exact same meal. I eat all weight cap. I eat salmon, broccoli, white rice. I didn't want to change up because I just eat a little bit more protein. It has salt, obviously. When I normally don't have salt, I have flavor. But I don't like to switch it up because then you feel like crap the next day, as I did. Because I changed up what I normally do, so it affected me a little bit.
Okay. Now that is a good answer. That really is, because especially too when you have to be consistent with your diet, with everything. And because I forgot this was a question I want to ask you earlier, so I'm gonna throw in 2 parts. First question is that if you could have anybody part of your corner for one fight, dead, alive, they don't have to be in fighting, they could be in something completely different, who would you be, or who would you pick?
Oh, that's actually a great question. Never thought of that one. Even though I listened to this podcast, I knew it was coming. I still didn't think about it. Honestly, off the rip, I don't know why I just thought of Michael Jackson. It's random as hell, but like I just want to hear if I like pop and I just want to hear. Hey, I don't know, like that'll get me pumped.
That vibes with the dancing and stuff.
Exactly.
Like on your way to the ring, he could be
Like,
moonwalking behind you.
Like every time I do something, I can hear like who's bad or something, like I don't know, some kind of like one of his mottos. I would love to hear that in my corner.
I wonder what he would say to you in the corner, like in between rounds, like you gotta move.
you just hear after every shot land, Shimon.
Bro, I would love it. I would love that so much. If I could just see him moonwalking on the corner, like I would be the happiest guy ever. I would fight harder for that because I want to see more animations.
I love that. And then the second answer I want to close out the show with, because like I said, PFA 6 talked about living more than just surviving and getting by. My question for you is, if you could summarize in one sentence what your legacy will be 50 years from now, what would it be?
My legacy 50 years from now, I hope it's an impact not just on fighting, but just as my person who I am, helping build a community, showing kids the right path, showing even adults the right path. I just want to set forth a great look for the community in the fight industry alone. That when you look back, like when you see my name, it's like, oh, great person, great fighter, better person for the community. That's what I want. I just want to bring up, like I said, have love for Arizona. I have love for my people. I have love for everyone involved around this kind of area. I just want you to look at me and be like, all right, great human. Just in general, not even fighter, just great human.
Well, you're already on your way to that for sure. And we appreciate you, man. You always bring the energy. Like I said, man, I just can't there's no else for me to say it. Good vibes, put smiles on people's faces. The dancing, keep doing it. Keep being you. Keep doing your thing. I really think that, like you said, you want to be active this year. I think this year has a lot in store for you. And I'm here for it. Anything you want to say before?
As always, it's a privilege, man. I consider every moment of being a part of this, getting to be here in the gym, sit down, talk with you, James, sit here and talk with you, Jeshua, especially the charisma you have and just the energy you brought and the love from the very get-go. So no matter what, every part of this is a privilege, and I'm truly humbled.
But yeah, man, really thank you for coming on. Appreciate that. Everybody else that's watching, April 6th, we got Rise of the Prospects down in Tucson. We'll probably be down there. A couple of our guys that are in the circuit are fighting on that card. So we're probably going to try to make our way down there, cover that. And then, of course, PFA is right around the corner. April 20th, Farnsworth Center in Mesa. There is a lot on that card. And I'm going to give you a kind of a snippet. There's going to be a title defense. So keep your eyes peeled over the next couple of days as some stuff starts to roll out. Some of the fight cards starts to come. Also, you got Rough 58 that will also be going on the same day, actually, April 20th as well. That card, there's a lot of some of the familiar names in the circuit as well. So, hey, man, if you're here for Arizona Combat Sports, this is the best time to be here for it. And, until next time, I'm James.
And I'm Josh.
I'm Jeshua.
And peace, sucker.
That was funny. Hold on. We're going to end it the right way. This was a funny one. We're going to have some bloopers for this one, guys. But we are out. I'll see y'all next time.
All sports, all plays, ball courts, pump fakes, crossovers, and some motion. All sports, all plays, ballparks, home base, miss that speed by, that's 3 strikes. We know what's happening in the league. All sports, all plays, ASAP.